So হয়নি, okay. So controlling is basically a primary goal oriented function of the management in an organization. Okay, খুবই primary goal controlling সমস্ত organization-এই it is needed. Now it is a process of comparing the actual performance with the set standards of the company. Set standards এর সঙ্গে actual performance কে আমরা measure করছি. When you are measuring the actual performance against the set standards, then we can understand that how much deviation is occurring. That means how whether we are going towards our goal or whether we are going in another direction from our goal. So to measure that, and to if we found that we are not going towards our goal, our deviation is increasing from the set standards, then we try to take some actions. So that we should say better so it will be corrective action, so that we can mitigate the deviation. So that is basically controlling is. So in the chart, in this small picture, you can see that set standards, that means standards are set first, then we measure the performance, then we compare the performance to understand that whether we are deviating or not, and if deviating, then how much, and then we take corrective action to mitigate that deviation. Okay. Now features of controlling, if we see, so it's obviously it's an effective control system. It will have following features, like it helps in achieving organizational goals. Obviously, if we are mitigating the deviation, so we are going towards the organizational goal, then facilitates optimum utilization of resources. Then it evaluates the accuracy of the standard. It also sets discipline and order. It motivates the employees and boosts employee morale. Ensures future planning by revising standards, as because we are revising the standards, so obviously it will ensure the future planning. Improves overall performance of an organization, because everybody is concerned that whether they are going towards the goal or beyond the goal, or going some another direction. So obviously performance will be improved, and it also minimizes errors. So if any errors are there in your system, so it will also minimize that. So that is basically features of controlling we found. Now process of controlling I have already discussed. Here it is again given, like step 1 is establishment of standards. You have to establish your standards first, that what standard you want to achieve, standard of your work. So you have to establish the standards, then you have to measure the actual performance, that right now actually where you are standing, that is very important to measure. So measurement of actual performance, then comparison of actual performance with the standards. You have to compare the actual performance with the set standards, and then you have to take the corrective action if it is necessary. If it is not necessary, then you don't have to take the corrective action. Now here you see from every step feedback has come. That means suppose measurement of actual performance. So after measurement of actual performance, whatever you have found, based on that you can change the establishment of standards. It may happen like that. So that's why this feedback is important. So feedback is there to make this model dynamic. Feedback is there to make this model dynamic. Actually in management, in modern management, we have to be dynamic. There should be always the scope of change. There should be always this, that there should not be rigidness. Okay. There should be always some scope of change. So that is basically has achieved by this feedback thing over here. So that is basically the process of controlling. You can understand it very well. And then type of controlling, if we go to the type of controlling, what are the different types of controlling it may be, we will found that mainly there are 3 types of controlling. One is feedback control, another is concurrent control, another is predictive and feed forward control. Now feedback control I have already discussed by the last picture. Feedback control, that means you are controlling based on the feedback whatever you are getting from your next step. So basically this process involves collecting information about a finished task. Suppose you have measured the performance, actual performance. So that is, the task is finished, but from that finished task you have taken lots of information, and then based on those information, then analyzes those information, and after analyzing those information, you are trying to improve your activities. So that is basically feedback control, and obviously activities means future activities. Next is concurrent control. It is also called real-time control. Concurrent control is also called real-time control. Now it checks any problem and examines it to take action before any loss is incurred. Example like control chart. Now control chart is a chart by which you can graphically plot or something like that. You can better understand that what is going on in real time. So it helps us to check if there any problem or not. Okay, that is concurrent control. Concurrent কথাটার মানে হচ্ছে parallel kind of thing, একসঙ্গে চলছে যেটা. So it is real time, that's why it is real time. Next is predictive and feed forward control. From the name you can understand, that predictive or feed forward control, this type of control helps to foresee problem ahead of occurrence. Now you are trying to predicting your problem. You are trying to predict your problem, that whether some problem can occur or not. If some problem occurs, what will be the nature of that problem, and if you can do that, then you can solve it in a better way. So that is predictive or feed forward control. Next, obviously, advantages of controlling. There are lots of advantages actually. Saves time and energy, allows managers to concentrate on important tasks. This allows better utilization of managerial resource. It helps in timely corrective action to be taken by the manager, and managers can delegate tasks, so routinely course can be completed by subordinates. So like that. So basically controlling provides us lots of advantages. Obviously the most important advantage from controlling, what we found is that we can achieve our organizational goal in a proper way, in a better manner, by using the less resources, and it also gives us the scope to improve ourselves, that means the employees. So that is the thing about controlling. So a note is given, this note is already given in your Google class about controlling. If you have any question, you can ask from controlling, but we will move to some another topic quickly, that is basically types of communication. But if you have any question from controlling, you please ask me, please raise your hand. And we are moving to another topic, that is types of communication. This is our last topic actually, types of communication and barriers to the communication. That is our last topic of the syllabus. So types of communication. Now you at the end of the whole semester, end of the whole this course, principle of management, whatever we have learned from here, I think you have understood one thing very clearly, that is communication in management is utmost necessary. You can't proceed an inch in management without good communication. So communication is very much necessary, and for a manager, communication skill is very much necessary. Now the thing is, there are different types of communication, like we can say facial expression, formal, informal communication, sign language, we call it sometimes soft skill. Soft skills are also very important. So if we see here it is written lots of communication types and all that, regarding all that it is written. So if we see types of communication, so there are verbal communication, there are non-verbal communication, there is a visual communication, there is written communication. Verbal communication, we use a strong, confident speaking voice. We use active listening, because we have to be active listener, and I think you have found it in your communication class also. And then we have to avoid the filter, we have to avoid some words, we have to avoid industry jargon, like that. basically the communication should be very simple manner. It will be very simple manner, plain and simple. That is verbal communication. Non-verbal communication, we have to notice how our emotions and our feelings. Then we have to be intentional about non-verbal communication. So non-verbal communication, when we communicate by our gesture, posture, by our something like that actually. I mean, by our suppose somebody is laughing very in a gentle way, smiling actually, you should say smiling. Suppose you are talking to somebody and he or she is smiling very gently. So then you have to find out, you have to understand that what is his or her point of view regarding the topic what you are discussing with him or her. So that is basically non-verbal communication from his or her point of view. There are lots of other non-verbal communications are there also. Then visual communication, ask others before including visuals. Now consider your audience, only use visuals if they add value to it and make them clear and easy to understand. That is visual communication. Suppose you have prepared a PowerPoint presentation and you are presenting it. So that is basically visual communication. Next is written communication. You have written some letter and all that and you are trying to communicate via that letter, via that medium. So that is written medium, written communication. So there are lots of communication types: verbal, non-verbal, visual, written. Mainly these types are there. Now, if we segregate, if we divide communication in some other respect, like according to organizational structure and according to expression. Now, according to your organizational structure, the communication can be two types that you have to understand again. One is formal communication, another is informal communication. Now, if your organization is very formal, if your organization follows only the formal communication approach, then you have to communicate formally. In suppose some organizations we found that not so formal approach is followed. So in that case, you can use some informal communication also. Informal communication মানে এত নিয়ম মেইনটেইন করে হচ্ছে না, মানে তোমাকে ধরা যাক formal communication. Suppose your manager is giving you one instruction. Suppose in formal communication, if your manager is giving you one instruction, it should come via mail, or it should come written, or it should come like that. So it will be formally. It will be formal communication. Now informal communication, there your manager can tell you, he will call you in his at his or her chamber, and he will say that you please do this particular job, you please do this particular assignment. So that is informal communication. Here your manager is not directly giving you any written instruction and all that. So that is basically can be informal communication. So this is an example actually. So according to organizational structure, it could be formal communication and informal communication. According to expression, it could be oral and written. Like it could be oral communication and written. Again, it is basically same, formal and informal, like that. When it is oral, it becomes informal actually. When it is written, it becomes formal. And according to direction. Now direction, that means from in which direction the orders are going on. So downward communication, that means when your boss is telling you to do something, that is downward communication. Upward communication, when you are trying to communicate something to your boss, that is upward communication. Horizontal communication, when you are discussing some matter within your organization with your colleagues, that is horizontal communication. So communication can be like that. According to organizational structure, it could be formal, informal. According to direction, it could be downward communication, upward communication, horizontal communication, and according to expression, it could be oral and written communication. Now, in informal communication, we don't know, in many of times we use soft skills, different soft skills. That is informal communication. Okay. Suppose you are not willing to do some particular assignment, so you have two choices. One, you can make some formal communication, otherwise you can make some informal communication as well. So to communicate informally, soft skills are used in many of times. So that is my point. Okay, so that is basically types of communication. It is written, these things are written over here: formal type of communication, informal types of communication, oral communication, that is face to face. Oral communication can be distance also. And then written communication, non-verbal type of communication, grapevine communication. Now this is another term, grapevine communication. Grapevine means it is regarded as the form of informal communication. Now question may come, what is grapevine communication? Formal, informal, and like that. So it is basically informal communication. It takes place both in the internal as well as external informal channels, which lead to effective functioning and benefit of the organization. Now, research has indicated that in various types of organizations, the individuals do not follow any systematic process of communication, but it takes place among individuals without following any prescribed or predetermined rules. Actually, what here we are trying to say is that grapevine is not any formal communication, it's an informal communication. It is basically when you saying something to your colleague and he is also sharing that to his colleague, and like that some kind of things are happening. So we call this situation as grapevine. It is basically বাংলায় বললে মানে sometimes some kind of মানে suspicious or like that. Okay, good job. We can say rumors, basically rumors. Okay, so that is basically grapevine communication. So grapevine communication, you should now it is actually operates in internal and external informal channels. I mean in both the channels. Actually informal information channel, internal channel means within your organization, external channel means information which is coming from outside the organization. So grapevine can occur in both the channels. Okay, so that is grapevine is kind of rumors. It has many of times it has no solid base. Now this type of communication is basically governed by some social and personal relationships rather than any recognized rules and formalities. Actually what happens when you are saying something to you, suppose you have listened, you have heard something about the organization from somebody and you are sharing that with your friend, with your colleague. Now your colleague is sharing it to his or her colleague, and like that it is going on. So some rumors are spreading out. That is grapevine. It is informal, you have to remember. Okay. Next, feedback communication, visual communication. What is, I have discussed active listening. Now listening is very important. You have to be active listener before a good speaker. You know that thing, I think. And communication through some sign languages. Many of times sign languages we use. Communication through facial expressions and like that. So this is basically the types of communication you can go through. This is given. Again, if you have any question on from it, you can ask me. And finally, otherwise I will I'm moving to the last topic of the syllabus, that is barriers to effective communication. We have seen different types of communication. Now this is the last topic of our syllabus of this semester, whole semester. Barriers to effective communication. Now there are different barriers. Barriers means what are the different limitation? What are the limitations of effective communication? What is the problem? Where is the problem of effective communication? Because effective communication is very much necessary, that you have found already. So we have to make it really effective. We have to make the communication really effective to get the proper or better output from it. So barriers to effective communication, and there are few points we have discussed, like dissatisfaction or disinterest with one's job. Suppose somebody is not getting any interest in his job, his or her job. So that is dissatisfaction and disinterest with one's job. Now many of the students don't find interest in studies. Actually many of the students don't found any interest in studies. So that is basically disinterest. So that kind of disinterest in job also, it happens. Many people don't get any interest in his or her current job and getting dissatisfied and all that. So that is basically when you are dissatisfied, when you don't have any interest. So it will affect on your communication, it will reflect on your communication, so that is a problem. Next, second barrier is inability to listen. Inability to listen to others. You are not very much active listener. So when you are not very much active listener, when you are not a good listener, then you cannot be a good communicator. So that is the first and foremost quality that you have to develop within yourself as a manager. Okay. Next is lack of transparency and trust. Now suppose to whom you are communicating, like here example is given, if your staff believes you are holding something back, they will be anxious, some will speculate, and as a result it will be more difficult for them to process any attempt you make to communicate with them. So if there is a lack of transparency and trust among you and your listener, it will be a barrier to the communication, because your listener যেহেতু তোমার ক্লারিটি নেই তোমাদের মধ্যে, তো অবভিয়াসলি তোমার লিসেনার তারা আগে থেকেই ভাবতে শুরু করে যে তুমি এই ব্যাপারে বলতে পারো, তুমি ওই ব্যাপারে বলতে পারো। সো এইভাবে ভাবতে ভাবতে সেও ঠিকমতো শুনবে না এবং তোমারও ঠিকমতো জিনিসগুলোকে এক্সপ্রেস করা হবে না। সো দ্যাট হ্যাপেন্স মেনি অফ টাইমস। নেক্সট ইজ কমিউনিকেশন স্টাইল when it differs. Okay, everybody has its own style of communication. Like when we talk, we have some approach of communication. When people from South India they are talking, their expression and their way of style of talking and all that is something different. North India people is something different, like that. So communication style, it differs. So that is the problem. Next is conflicts in the workplace. When you have conflicting situation in the workplace, because confliction in workplace is very common. So when it happens, confliction is there in your workplace. So that is also becomes a barrier, because you cannot reach to your actual point. Before that you are getting thrust from your opponent. So that will become a barrier. Next is cultural difference and languages. I have already discussed, like we have some culture, South India people have some other culture, North India people have some other culture, so that differs also. Our languages are different and all that, so that is also a problem, cultural difference and languages. Next, psychological barriers. Sometimes people have a habit of starting an argument when someone counters their opinion. It happens, it's very much, I have seen lots of people like that. So sometimes people have a habits of starting an argument when someone counters their opinion. যখনই তার opinion কে counter করা হলো, he or she is starting an argument. So as a result, people tend to avoid them. এটা করলে কি হবে, তোমাকে people will tend to avoid you, and this affects their personal as well as professional relationship. তো সাইকোলজিক্যাল ব্যারিয়ার্স, এটাকেই সাইকোলজিক্যাল ব্যারিয়ার বলছে, কারণ তুমি যদি সেরকম ধরনের মানুষ হও যে যার ওপিনিয়নকে কাউন্টার করলেই, তোমার ওপিনিয়নকে অপোজ করলেই তুমি ফিউরিয়াস হয়ে ওঠো, তুমি আর্গুমেন্টেশনে চলে যাও, তাহলে নেক্সট টাইম people will started to ignore you, and that will affect on your personal as well as professional relationship. Now, psychological barriers such as anger, fear, jealousy, insecurity, shyness, close-mindedness can always damage the communication and in turn relationships. Now, if you know how to connect with your listener, you can avoid this kind of complicated situation that arise due to these barriers. So you have to understand who is your listener. You have to understand to how far you can go with them. You can understand, you have to understand what is their emotions, current emotions right now, what they want to listen from you. So you have to make your communication attractive in that way. So that is the thing. These are some barriers of this thing. এর সঙ্গে যেটা আছে physical barriers. Sometimes physical barriers হয়, attitudinal barrier, like তোমার attitude যদি ঠিকঠাক না হয় সেরকম। organizational barriers means organizational hierarchy. এরকম হয়, তুমি তোমার টপ বসের সঙ্গে, তুমি being a normal manager, you directly cannot put your opinion to your CEO like that. So that is organizational barrier. Hierarchically এই প্রবলেম গুলো হয়, যেহেতু অর্গানাইজেশনের হায়ারার্কিতে সে অনেক উপরে বসে আছে, তার কাছে তোমার ক্লিয়ার ডায়ালগের কোনো জায়গা নেই। So that is basically organizational barriers. So these are some communicational barriers are there. Now There are some ways to remove communication barriers, like close appropriate words, choose some appropriate words, and communication channel. তুমি কোন চ্যানেলে কথা বলবে, written channel, it will be written channel, it will be visual channel, and like that. So তোমাকে চ্যানেলগুলো চ্যানেলটা চুজ করতে হবে, এবং you have to choose the appropriate words, because based on your word things changed. Now you have to be an active listener, যা বললাম. Let the other person feel you are involved in the conversation. Next, minimize distractions such as noise. তুমি সেই জায়গায় কমিউনিকেট করবে না যেখানে অনেক নয়েজ আছে. Analyze feedback and implement the required change. You have to be compassionate, unbiased, and inclusive. You have to be unbiased. You should not be biased to somebody. Focus on forming constructive and long-lasting bonds. Okay, you and between the bonds between you, bonding between you and your listener should be long-lasting. Okay, so this is basically some ways you can remove communication barriers. There are few other strategies like checking whether it is a good time and place to communicate with the person. সবসময় সব কথা বলা যায় না. Being clear and using language that the person understands. তুমি হিব্রুতে কথা বলছো, সে ফার্সি বোঝে, হবে না. You have to be a common platform. Next, communicating one thing at a time. তুমি একসঙ্গে অনেক কথা বললে, that will be a difficult thing to control. Respecting a person's desire to not communicate. যদি সে মনে করে এই সময় সে কথা বলবে না, তুমি তাকে জোর করে যদি তার সঙ্গে এই সময় কথা বলতে চাও, it can be a difficult thing. Checking that the person has understood you correctly. সে বুঝতে পারছে কিনা সেটা দেখতে হবে. Communicating in a location that is free of distractions. এমন একটা লোকেশনে কমিউনিকেট করবে যেটা ফ্রি অফ ডিস্ট্রাকশন, যেটা আগেও বলেছি আমরা, নয়েজ ফ্রি অর লেস নয়েজ আছে সেই জায়গায়. সবসময় পসিবল হয় না সবকিছু, বাট it is optimum, it is desired actually. Now, acknowledging any emotional responses the person has to what you have said. Emotions ke sob shomoy respect kora uchit. So these are the few things that you can overcome the communication barriers. So this is basically our last topic. This was our last topic, barriers to communication, and this is our last topic of this whole semester. Now you can tell me if you have any question, any sort of doubt. And I think you are going well, because you have lots of you have participated in the question answer particular thing what I have given you in the morning. So thank you for that, and thank you for joining the class as well. And I hope your exam will be very good. I think you are taking preparation in all the subjects in an equal manner, because every subjects are important. Study very hard, study minutely, try to understand every words. I'm talking about every subject. Principle of management is very important. With that, economics, mathematical subjects, whatever you have, and other subjects and communication and all that. Go through every subject very minutely. Try to solve the MCQs from the net as far as possible. But before that, you should complete all the given notes and whatever textbooks you have. Try to complete whole syllabus, because question পুরো সিলেবাসের উপর থেকেই হবে. Don't think that আমি একটা চ্যাপ্টার বাদ দিয়ে যাব, এরকম না করাই ভালো, because multiple choice question হবে, so every chapter will be covered up over there. So these are some tips, and I hope you have enjoyed the semester, though we know that we are going through some bad situation and all that. We can't help. We are hoping that in the next semester we will meet physically in the classroom regularly. So with this hope, I'm ending today's class, this semester's class. If you have any sort of doubt, if you face any doubt and all that, you can always ask me. You can reach me via WhatsApp and all that. So thank you for joining the class again. Thank you all of you. I'm ending the class today. Thanks to you.